All right, guys. So I know my mic's a little looks like gigantic right here. Anyway, so today we want to talk a little bit to you guys about why school is absolute BS. Why is it a waste of time for you? Why is it a waste of time for your kids? So this is really more directed to little kids or parents with little kids, so they know and they can apply what they learned from this video. So number one, and this is the most important one of all, especially nowadays more than ever, is that school does not get ready. Does not get your kids ready for anything in life. It does not get them ready for anything. I mean, anything from writing a check to getting a job interview to getting the job to understanding how any of this is done. It is absolutely not taught 1%, nothing. Instead, what your kids are going to learn is how to shut up, how to follow some miserable old guy or woman, or some miserable old fart's directions, and they have to listen to the instructions, and they're graded based on how much they submit and just don't fight back. That's really all it is. So you're gonna have to learn about BS that happened 500 years ago to whatever, George Washington, this guy, that guy, which is absolutely useless information in today's day and age, more than ever. Which they can just Google if they want to learn anything that happened thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago. It's so irrelevant that it's not even funny. So number one will be to get your kids learning from a different source other than their so-called school or escuela, their educational system. The best alternative I can say, and this is because the freaking school districts and governments are so annoying, is that once they know your kid exists and is alive as a birth certificate, they're gonna come down on him like a bloodhound and say, why isn't he in some kind of school? Why isn't he in some kind of institution wasting 8 hours of his life every single day? Against his will, by the way. I mean, it's so funny how many similarities there are with prison and school. You have to be there. It's an obligation. The only difference is you get to come home and then you have to do homework. At least in prison, there's no homework. As long as you survive the next day, you're one day closer to getting out, hopefully, or I don't know, unless your life in prison. But anyway, I digress. You know, so that's the main point right there. Is that with school, you have to make sure your kids learning from somewhere else. I don't care if you sign them up for piano practice, guitar practice, violin practice, karate, soccer, basketball, as long as they're getting some kind of other activity from somewhere else, learning things that are fun and they can always like actually use for the rest of their lives, not like worthless history, useless earth science, so many useless garbage concepts that all these kids have to clog their hard drive, their memory with nonsense, just garbage stuff, literally filler garbage information. So by the time they're 18, let's say they have straight A's, whoop de freaking do, I'm a valedictorian, I graduated with honors. Now, guess what? Your kid is as dumb as a rock. He doesn't know how to do anything. Doesn't know how to buy a house, doesn't know how to rent a place, doesn't know how to buy a car, doesn't know how to negotiate, doesn't know how to write a check, doesn't know how to open a bank account. You don't have any real life skills, period. You are an 18-year-old, and but by the way, good for you. You got the honor roll last year. Oh, that's really, yeah. You know what? Just for that, I'm gonna give you a $5 raise. Said no one ever. It does. That's not how it works. It's just a useless concept to fuck your kids' brains up. To fuck my brain up when I was younger, thinking, oh yeah, straight A's will solve all my problems. Now, before you guys think I'm just some random entity with no authority whatsoever, I hold 2 bachelor degrees. I don't know why I have business for, but I have 2 bachelor degrees, one in computer science and one in clinical psychology. And it's just only made me realize how much more education is actually useless and worthless. Now, if you have a heavy educational oriented like family like me, then obviously I understand. I feel your pain. I know what you're going through. You just kind of got to do it because it's so annoying. They won't get off your back. I totally get it. It's fine. But just know that you need to have other sources of learning. Otherwise, education is gonna fuck you over so bad. It's gonna bend you over, and it's not pretty. It's not pretty, and I've seen this happen with so many people, especially in almost any major that ends with the ology. Any of those study of biology, psychology, sociology. Sociology is probably one of the worst. Anthropology is a close second. These are worthless fields that simply suffice and satisfy the requirements to get a piece of paper, a degree from some bullshit university. What even is a university? A business? You got to pay for everything. They give you financial aid. It doesn't cover everything. You want to go for a graduate degree, you need to get loans. It's just so disgusting and so unfair. And, it's just really bad. So you need to be aware, especially if you're a parent, if you give a crap about your kid, otherwise you're just not a blind idiot sending your kid off to public school. God knows what goes on during those 8 hours. You know, oh, but you're too busy to work, right? Well, maybe you shouldn't have had those kids. Yeah. You know, it's just so disgusting because you don't know who's sitting next to your child for 8 hours a day. You don't know who's putting those nasty, dirty thoughts and curse words in their head. And your kid comes home and he's cussing and saying stupid shit that he wasn't saying before he went to school, right? That's why it's, you know, it's so imperative. It's so important to know what the hell your kid's doing. You can't just do willy-nilly and hope that some dumb teacher who's being paid by the hour to, you know, teach your kid things or anything, let alone all the things that you should know, right? A history teacher is just supposed to teach stupid history, US, world, it doesn't matter. It's bullshit. It's fucking filler information. A science teacher teaches their genre, their niche, physical, biological, life science, earth science. They teach that. They don't teach your kid anything else. They barely teach the subject that they've been assigned to teach. So you need to, like, people don't realize it. They don't see it. Because, like, oh, yeah, he's going to school. Just shut up and do your homework, study. No, I mean, there's a reason why kids don't want to do their homework. You know, there was kids like me who did their homework, studied, and got good grades. And then there was like fucking 80-90% of the rest of the school and class that didn't want to do their shit. They didn't care. Every day they get called out by a teacher. Why didn't you do your homework? Go to the office. Go to their principal's office. You never do your homework. They don't care. They don't want to do it. Now, maybe that's a separate issue. But the point, the common thing is, the common denominator is that school is boring and it gives you a lot of useless information. That is just a lesson plan, a curriculum designed by a teacher and school district, and they have to fulfill those requirements. Otherwise, they get into shit. How do they find out? I don't know. They do reviews. I don't know. Whatever. And not to mention, they have to talk to your parents at parent-teacher conferences, but teachers are really bad. Most of them are super fake, and by the time they want to talk to your parents, they're just going to kiss their ass or be polite, maybe, for that duration, and then just be an asshole to your kid after. Obviously, it does not go for everyone. I can't speak for all teachers, but there are plenty of horrible teachers, and you keep seeing things on the news like teachers making kids fight and substitute teachers and people who are seriously unqualified and do not belong anywhere near a fucking child, you know. But yeah, leave it to smarter minds, right, to hire these fucking idiots to teach your kids jack shit. So anyway, takeaways from this video: know what your kid's doing. Put them in extracurricular activities, karate, soccer, piano, music, whatever you want. Make them learn from somewhere else. Make them find a passion. If they like coding, show them software engineering. By the time they're 12, 15 years old, they're already a freaking genius. They can get a job at a tech firm, drop out of high school because it's fucking useless, okay? Don't let your kid waste 4 years of their life trying to chase bullshit like popularity, prom, this and that. It's all garbage anyway. Once they get out, they realize that later, like, fuck, you know? They might not like it at the time being, but when they're much more successful than their friends in their 20s and they're shitting on everyone, you and them are going to have a really great bond and connection and relationship, and he's going to be grateful. You're going to be happy. It's a win-win for everyone, except for school districts. But good. Fuck them. You know, they're disgusting anyway. So anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, thank you so much for watching. As always, I really appreciate it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And as always, I'll be back again. Bye-bye.